mid. Fredrin is a flex pick as well. This is a pretty good pick coming out from Onic Overlord. So far I'm liking it.
I also like the Kadita though, because it can be flexed, right? Like, the Kadita has been known to be played as a roam occasionally. It has been known to be played as mid. So it's not like you're showing all of your cards immediately, and you pick up something that can get to the back line and just has a lot of versatility. I've become a big fan of the Kadita over time, and now with the Fredrin locked in, I was wondering if we were going to see this. The Basha, a hero that has come back majorly. The Tortoise Puissance, the ultimate of the Basha, does so well against some of the sustainability meta, against things like the Fredrin here, against some of these heroes that are very hard to kill. Not only that, but you add that with this with this Faramis now, who also can go roam or mage, so it's going to be their choice to switch between this with the Kadita or the Faramis. You have a lot of mobility on that mid lane and your jungle, and a lot of possible aggression.
Oh, here we go. Novaria tracks, we're talking about the combo. Novaria and you have Beatrix coming out. Now remember, Florin's still on the map. If Novaria is not going to be used as a roam, similar to how Blacklist does it, then you have a double mage mid, right? And we've seen that quite often in the current meta. You have double support and with hyper carry jungle. That also happened. Now with Florin support, you have a Fredrin who's like a beta tank in the front line, so you really don't need a front line anymore. So you can, over here, you can actually run a Florin. Then you have double synergies. Dude, I feel like this is not Mobile Legends Bang Bang 5v5 anymore. This is almost like Magic Chess, right? Because when you create a tournament lobby, you can actually create a 5v5 or Magic Chess. It's like a Magic Chess lobby for the side of Onic. You know, they were trying to create all kinds of synergies and then to create all these powers, looking pretty good.
Synergy is definitely key now. With this next round of bans coming in, we see the Arlott taken out, we see the Melissa taken out from the side of Onic. From the side of Evos, they've taken away the Lancelot. I think they got a feeling that this Fredrin is going to go into the EXP lane possibly, especially depending on what their last ban is going to be. And either way, I'm not against the jungle bans here, because it starts to limit if you even want to flex the Fredrin of where you want to put him. So either way, they're playing it safe. They're covering some of their bases here. Now back to that Novaria pick though, right?
Time to drop the
you have this long distance poke. You also have the sniper of the Beatrix. But Evos does kind of have some answers to that. You have that dive potential with the Kadita. You have some flank potential with the Basha. Like I said, you have a lot of movement, so it's going to be up to Onic dealing with that and keeping Novaria and Beatrix safe in these team fights.
But you see, Trax, there's also a counter argument for that. The thing about Kadita is you need vision, right? You camp in a bush and wait for the right moment, or somebody engage for you and have the right vision for everybody, and you can make a plan accordingly on Explore. So Novaria with Beatrix can combo really well. And the thing about Novaria and Beatrix, in a late game, yes, it's a deadly machine. You can snipe you, can kill you, but really the strategy, the overall objective of this overall synergy is to poke, right? Poking in Mobile Legends Bang Bang, right now, it really come to prominence with the birth of Novaria. Because now you can poke effectively, and not only can you poke effectively, the thing about poking effectively is you can stop a team fight before it begins. All right, let's say if you land a really good poke on Kadita, and so not Kadita, Faramis, and make Faramis one shot, into one shot, or land a really good poke on enemy jungler with a double skill 2 and Beatrix snipe. This is what coming out from Onic Overlord right now. I like the strategy of the poke because it does so much. And not only that, again, they have the Grok, which is also a flag pick, and then they can decide, do they actually want a floor in the end, or do they want another EXP laner?
No, I think they definitely want to just continue to build this wall around the Novaria and the Beatrix here. So they have the Grok, they have the Fredrin, you have two really strong frontliners. They could keep the Fredrin in the jungle and pick up something bulky in that EXP. They have that option here. And then you just completely protect your Beatrix, and there it is. Esmeralda instead of the Yuzong. I'm not completely against it. I'm waiting for the final swaps from the side of Evos here. Doma is going to be in the gold lane. Suchijin, so it is going to be the Basha in the jungle. Krite's going to pick up the Faramis here, and then Van Strong will be on the roam with the Kadita. So kind of big dive composition up against this impenetrable fortress with Beatrix and Novaria on the backside.
Yeah, and I gotta say the Esmeralda actually makes sense too. Skills into the late game against someone like Paquito, right? Because Paquito is really good at getting shields. And guess who is really good against shield? Esmeralda. And that's the pick they go with. EXP lane is all about having the lane priority, have the lane pressure. And Esmeralda is one of the pick that can actually do well here, and also skills into the late game. So they have the heavy team fights, they have the really strong sustain, they have the wall you're talking about with Esmeralda. But Trex, we're walking to Evos Icon taking on Onic Overlord.
You got me with that one, the hold. You got me with that one, and I like it. So it's game one, and another best of 3. Another thing I want to talk about with that Esmeralda, though, right? She's gonna do so well in the late game, especially since Evos Icon decided not to go for, you know, like a DHS build marksman. They put Doma on this Brody, which is more burst damage, not something that's gonna be able to shred down the Esmeralda. So if Onic Overlord can get Lupi to a place where they need him, it's gonna run so well against Evos Icon.
Yeah, and I really like the Grok pick. You see exactly what Grok just did. One skill one, he makes Boxia, you know, not look like a Boxia anymore with Engage. Right? Boxia and Kadita is actually a really good combo as well, because of a single target CC and into Kadita's knockup, into Kadita's full combo. It can be really good, right? Just really good combo. And then, but just now, Grok canceled it. Oh, here we go. A lot of damage.
Oh boy, wants to find right here. The Appraisal's Wrath lands down. First blood over to the side of Onic Overlord.
Wow. Once Fredrin finds you, you really don't get away, huh? That's what it is, you know? When Fredrin is able to land some CC on you and have a...
You accept the wrath of the Appraiser. And boy, right now, gonna start moving on to this turtle now. Susujin also trying to maybe fight for this. Assassin sits in the backside, firing off these meteors. Krike gonna get involved. Use the Shadow Stampede, but here comes... Possible take. Susujin still able to steal it. He got stunned up and still hits Retro just in time. Boy goes down. Evos Icon able to bring the snap back. Able to take that turtle there. Oh, in a little bit of trouble here. Wants to try to defend this blue buff, but they will not be able to do that today.
Oh, talking about playing aggressive. Who actually got a blue buff? I think it is Boxing. Look at Paquito though. Able to find one more kill. Yeah, that's really good actually from the side of Evos. I was actually thinking that Box is gonna get it because I see a pretty chaotic execution coming out from Onic. You know, they were not Onic Overlord. I want to make it clear, Onic Overlord, right? They were not poking. Obviously, right now it's kind of hard for them to poke. Having Esmeralda in the side lane is Esmeralda gonna do well on her own. The biggest thing about Esmeralda is the character doesn't provide too much early game. You know, you can dance quite often on the enemy team, but you're gonna do very to no impact to the entire enemy.
Able to help set up the fight there, but the kill does go over to Von Strong, right onto the jungler of Onic Overlord, and now boys sitting at 1, 2, and 0. He's already a level behind Susujin here, and that is only going to keep on scaling more and more. It's going to become a problem for Onic Overlord when they want to fight for these neutral objectives.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, here we go. This might be punished, Trex. Oh, actually,
should be able to get away
he will actually run away. Yeah, here's Paquito. He's very mobile. You know, they're not too much damage right now. Novara hasn't scaled up yet. Novara needs Lightning Truncheon, needs that Clock of Destiny. Yeah, he just got it. It's 4 minutes. It's actually one of the faster ones. Oh, here we go. Onic one more time, Trex.
Another fight for the purple buff. Susujin gonna be able to take that away from Boy there. That is huge, and Doma takes out D up in the top side. A little bit of fight continues. Veldora brought down to about half health. Falling Star Moon does not connect. Veldora able to get the sidestep as the rest of Evos Icon disengage, and that is a play well played. They take the purple buff, and they're gonna move on to this turtle now.
Sheesh. Wow. Evos, they put their foot down to the metal, pedal to the metal. Just go full force. Invade after first turtle, invade after the second turtle. I mean, not after the second turtle, before the second turtle. They just invade now on command. You know, a lot of teams actually forget about jungle objective is also objective. Invading buff is one of the most important objectives against a lot of teams, especially when you know you have the aggression, you have the capability to do so. And that's exactly what Evos is doing. Once they have the little lead, they capitalize on it and then continue to expand the lead. Because now, not only do they control the river and anything on the left side of the river, they also control the top right quadrant. So they have 3 sides of the map resources going towards the pocket, which is going to make sure that they scale more and faster. Because now, Onic Overlord, they're only clearing one side, 1/4 of it. And look at Evos icon. Look at Boxia making his way into the third quadrant jungle one more time. They're invading into the rest side, but bottom side tracks.
Yeah, Colt Alter does go off maybe a little bit too early as Onic Overlord tries to make the snapback. Boy, though, brought very low. Doma picks up the kill, firing off shots from the backside there. Even Loopy on this Esmeralda is forced to run away. Suchijin with the Tortoise Busans. Gonna try to make another play here. Owen wants to just defend the tower. D's also in the midst of this. Gonna get pulled back with the Shadow Stampede. Stunned down. Pops into Revere's passion, but it's not enough. Krite picks up the kill. And now they're gonna move on to this tier 3 tower.
Wow. Pulled back, stunned up, and beaten down by the actually. You know, they're pulling their synergy a lot earlier, a lot better. And one of the reasons why this is so successful is because they have a jungle mid synergy, whereas for the side of Onic Overlord, they have to scale into the late game for the synergy to be effective, right? Because now their synergy is mid lane and the marksman. Close to 4,000 goal behind. It's Evo's game to lose now.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it. All of their eggs were essentially in one basket, and that was the Novaria and D on this Beatrix. Those were their main damage dealers, and right now the Beatrix sitting at 0, 2, and 0, so far behind. It already kind of felt like they had a later game composition, but with the way that Evos Icon is pushing the envelope right now, Onic Overlord is getting no time to breathe, no time to scale. They've missed their mid-game spike, and they're just falling behind more and more. Evos Icon does not want to give this up. Is there an answer for Onic Overlord here?
Buy cheap items, if you get the 5% discount, the magic worship from, you know, the magic emblem category. So it's one of the things that right now for Onic Overlord, they really have to wait until after 60 minutes, not even 12 minutes, maybe even like 18 minutes after Lord Evolve fully evolves. So it's really delayed, and then I don't know if Evos gonna give them the chance, because look at how aggressive they are. They're on every buff. They're invading blue, invading red. They literally have the river objective under control, and then they're expanding that river objective, as I said, into the enemy jungle objectives. And it's such an effect.
Go night-night right now, and it's becoming a little bit of a problem. At least Loopy, though, you know, doing a little bit of split pushing here, causing some pressure, pulling Veldora away, trying to just, you know, get that chokehold off their neck any little bit they can.
Whew. He's doing his best. His best might not be enough. You know, this is how the world works, kids. Sometimes you do your best.
So sad,
the day. 2 days later, you're on the street away.
I know how that feels, man. You know, you do your best, and somehow you just end up a Mobile Legends caster. I don't know, but here we are. We really touched some heartstrings here across the world. No, I love my job. I'm just joking.
This quickly become an inspirational speech. But I gotta say, like, it's pretty interesting so far. Onic they're not going anywhere, right? Like, they're just slowly choking themselves. They're not making any plays. And then I want to see Esmeralda's item. If we're gonna see items right now, I'll be like so grateful, because you're gonna see where Esmeralda is, right? How well it's developed. As you've hit all the 3 core items yet, get a little bit of tanky, get a little bit of shield. They're not poking effectively. It seems like they're poking on their own, right? Like Cesar has not been using ultimate along with D.
Even though they're far behind, they have some siege protection. They still have the Nubiru's Passion. You have D who can shred things out. And look at Lucky, man, just continuously split pushing. Do you think that's a good play on their part? Like, is that the saving grace here?
It really isn't, because it's not
of Evos. They're gonna find Boy and get out of town. Still haven't lost a single member. Onic Overlord, though, does continue to defend.
Oh, man. I mean, they're defending pretty well. And again, they need to drag the game to 18 minutes. If they drag the game to 18 minutes, when D's item comes online, Blade of Despair, Malefic Roar, you have maybe even Hunter Strike, you got all those kind of items. Maybe, just maybe, they have a chance, right? Because right now, we don't know. But once Beatrix comes online, we know he can shred everybody. Even Boxia with the passive cannot stop the DHS damage from D, from someone like Beatrix, right? Because yes, you have the Cold Order, But if your cold order cannot be wasted on someone who is poked low, not poked dead, right? If I can poke, use very low investment to get a really high return to get your ultimate out, right? That's really good. That's a really good deal. It's kind of like, you know, buying stock in the current market, buying an Nvidia at the beginning of this year, right? You will be seeing a 3-time return at this point in time now.
I lost out again. You know, I tried my best, but I lost out on a lot of those returns. Now, here we are, though. I do feel like we're getting to a stage of this game where Onic is forcing it to be a little bit slow, which, like you said, is great for them. Wait a second, Sujin gonna come in. The bombs drop on top. Veldor takes out Sasu, though, and Van Strong finds D. 3 members down. Let's make it 4 for the price of 0. That is 1 cheap meal for the side of Evos Icon. Lutty all alone once again. Can he defend this? They don't have the minions to push on his tower, but they don't care. Lutty gonna fall. The wave of minions coming, and this will be game 1 for Evos Icon.
Oh Lord. It seems like that for the side